You know, you're an emotional guy. You wear your heart on your sleeve, and you could feel the energy that night. Let's go into the back end of your career then,
Yeah.
and in particular, a rivalry that just lightened up. A certain, what was it, Sideshow Bob. You're thanking YouTubers, mate, and you know the David Haye rivalry. The call out was brilliant. It was again, love seeing all of that.
Yeah.
But at the time, David Haye just looked a bit like, where's this come from?
Yeah, do you know what, mate? It's the only time I went into a fight in my whole career with an agenda. When I made that first defence against BJ Flores, uh, I was already planning the fight with David Haye. I knew what the public wanted. David had this great comeback. He looked in phenomenal shape, to be fair.
Yeah,
And
he
in them
did.
first two fights back against Mark Namori and the Giraj fella, he looked unbelievable. He was explosive, he was powerful, he looked in great nick, and he smashed the two of them. But I knew, as an active world champion, I get past 2 rounds with him, he's done. I knew that because David was so explosive and so powerful. That kind of explosiveness and power only lasts for so long. And if you make him miss 2 or 3 times a round, believe you me, even after 3 rounds, he will be gassing. He will be blowing. So the first fight, I was nailed on. I knew I was going to beat him against all the odds. I just knew it, mate. Don't get me wrong. No one could have ever foreseen the way I'd beat him with his Achilles snap.
Listen, I thought, I'm going to say this before you go further. I thought you were going to get sparkled.
Oh, mate, everyone did.
I've just been on like David Haye, like you say,
No,
explosive power. I just thought Tony's bitten off more than he
than he
can
can
chew
chew.
here, and he's going.
And I get it, mate. I 100% get it. I understood. I even knew there was people in my own circle who were fearing for me, but they wouldn't say it. I knew there was. Very few believed that genuinely I could beat him. I literally, on one hand, I could count how many, and that includes what's in my house as well. Uh, but I knew, one thing, as I said before, I know better than anything in life is boxing. I understand it. And I know what I had to do to beat him. And I knew if I followed it, don't get me wrong, if he cops me, I also wasn't a fool and I knew I'd go. If he catches me clean, if he catches anyone clean, he's going to knock them out. But I knew, as long as I stick to the game plan, as long as I stay focused and remain relaxed so I don't gas, I'll get rid of him. It'll only be a matter of time. The rematch was actually more dangerous than the first fight. Because in the rematch, he now knows how good I am. He thought I was shite in the first fight. He just thought he
Yeah,
was going to blow me away. And that's the reason he stays in the fight, even when he's bust his Achilles. Because he still thinks he's capable of knocking me out with one shot. Which, to be fair, he is. But he doesn't give me credit for my cuteness on the inside, being up close, still being able to make him miss and countering him. And the body shots played a massive factor in the fight. He was absolutely... Just watch the first fight back. Look at the 5th round. After 5 rounds, don't get me wrong, I think he's 3-2 ahead. I've won 2, he's won 3.
yeah.
But at the end of the 5th round, I stand in the middle of the ring and I say to him, you are blowing out your ass, you're finished now. Lo and behold, he comes out in the 6th round, and then that happens. I just could not believe what was happening. I really couldn't. And then I box absolutely dreadful from round 6 till I stopped him in round 11. I'm just trying to take his head clean off his neck because I wanted to hurt him for the things he'd said to me in the build-up.
He did show, you know, David Haye gets a lot of criticism for the toe incident and all that, but he did show heart that night. To
Immense
stay
amount of
on his
bravery.
feet, like
Mate,
that thing looked like it was properly snapped, and
mate,
to keep going, especially
immense,
against somebody who's trying
immense
to take his
amounts,
head off.
mate, immense amounts of bravery. I wish he'd have stopped because that'll have lasting effects in his life.
Yeah,
There's no two ways about it. I pounded him with everything, so brave, but it's because I'd wound him up in the build up. If
yeah.
that was against anyone else, he'd have gone. Everyone can see it's gone. We'll run it back. We'll have a rematch, and it is what it is. But because I'd wound him up, don't be getting a sore toe. Oh, have you had your makeup done? Is your little toe all right? Is your ankle okay? Is your hamstring all right? Is your bicep okay?
The mind games you've done him
Yeah.
as well,
Oh,
big
mate,
time.
I
He
just,
admits that. He
oh,
actually admits
absolutely.
that. He says
Yeah.
before the second fight, this guy is good at the mind games.
Yeah.
I've never had it like this.
Because no one ever answered him back because he's usually so sharp and witty. But
Mhm.
there's no one who's going to outdo me when it comes to your mouth. There's just not going to happen, no Cockney's going to outdo a Scouser when it comes to banter. It's impossible. It's never going to happen. So when I opened my mouth to him, I kept just getting at him, and it wouldn't be nasty stuff. Like, he said some really bad personal stuff, like he was going to put me in a coma, my family's going to visit me in hospital, all that kind of stuff. I never went that deep with him. Now, I had it in my locker. I knew there was certain things I knew about his life and his personal life, but I never said them. I wouldn't degrade myself so much. But I just played on the little things. David, you're wearing a hairband. I can't take you seriously. Have you had your nails manicured? I mean, you look like Sideshow Bob. Behave yourself. Is your bicep okay? Is your little toe still sore? As I kept prodding and prodding. If you could have seen the proper outtake of the gloves are off, he walked out that room about 4 times.
Just couldn't take it. He
He
was
just
like,
couldn't, because I kept biting him. And then
yeah.
the worst part about it all was I actually knew more about his career than he actually knows himself. So I said to him, David, you know him for spewing it. When have I ever spewed it? I haven't spewed it. I said, well, I'm not going to say Carl Thompson because Adam Booth saved you that night. I said, but me and you both know when you look me in the eyes, you spewed it against Orlando Solis in the World Championship final. You could have been the first ever British boxer to win a World Championship gold medal and you spewed it. You hit him with your uppercut in the first round. You hit him with a punch so hard he looked like Neo in the Matrix, the way his back went down and came up out of nowhere. I said, but because he took it, you folded. I didn't fold. I've never spewed. I said, David, you did. And it just, he lost it. He was going nuts. And
He's gone.
yeah, he was gone. But when it came to the fight, yeah, I was terrible in the first fight. I was really good for the first 5 rounds. I was making him miss. I was countering him to the body, nailing him, hitting him. And then I went nuts after that. But I put everything to bed in that rematch, mate. He came into the rematch. There was nothing wrong with him then. I went.
It was a clean knockout, no drama, no
I actually think
controversy.
that's the best performance of my career. When you look at who it's against, the pressure on my shoulders, the fact that I just lost my brother, it was the worst moment in my life. And once again, I was selfish, took myself to camp. I was going through hell in that camp. I'll never understand how I got through it. So much turmoil in my personal life and at home. But when that night came, once again, I shown that I can switch off and take myself to another place. And I was brilliant that night. I was razor sharp.
You must
I
be
honestly think I
going
could have
through
beat
these
anyone
things.
that
Your
night.
mother-in-law losing your. I've lost a younger brother,
Yeah,
and I couldn't see myself going into I played cricket. I
yeah.
couldn't see myself even going out to play a cricket match.
Oh,
Near
mate.
after my brother passed away, for you to go in the ring, but it just strikes me, Tony, as you got like a really strong mind when you need to switch
Yeah,
on.
I can. You know what, mate? I can distance myself from things, and I don't know how I do it. I really don't, because I struggle doing it now. I know there's certain things I need to distance myself from and what's going on now, but I can't anymore because I haven't got that sole focus and goal that I had when I was fighting. But it's life, man. It is what it is. But I say, mate, that David Haye rematch put it all to bed. I boxed brilliantly. I studied the first fight religiously, seen the mistakes that he made, seen the mistakes that I made even in the first fight, and everything I said before both of them fights came true exactly the way I said it would. I told him his body would give in on him. I told him I would do him before the first fight. I said to him, I'll find me a moment, I'll find me time, and I will get rid of you. I did in the first fight, and his body did give up on him. In the rematch, I knew he'd be 100% and he would come in firing, but I also knew this time he would respect me. He respected me power, he respected me boxing ability, he respected me the way I could make him miss. So in the rematch, I knew I was facing a really dangerous David Haye, someone who was going to try and box, use his speed and his power and his explosiveness to his advantage. He didn't come in this time swinging for the light. He came in and tried to put me on a jab and set me up. And what he soon found out is I've got a far better boxing brain than he has, and I was able to trap him and draw him in and draw him in, and I just exploited him. I exploited all his weaknesses straight away, mate, immediately. From the first knockdown, it was just brutal. I just took him apart. I didn't take anything back in return. I just took him apart, mate, as I say. So really good display for the rematch. I was really happy with it, and then I was allowed time away then to just relax with my family and go away and take into consideration what had gone on in my personal life, which was very, very odd. I basically retired then. I was retired. I went away and got married. I fought with David in the May and got married in the July. I was retired, mate. I wasn't going to fight again.
Your wife, I think she wanted you to call. She wanted
Yeah,
to call it a day,
she
didn't she?
wanted me to call the day after Goodison Park, but I was so far away from financial security that I couldn't. David Hayes' 2 fights with me secured me and my whole family financially for good. You know, them 2 fights generated insane amounts of money. You know, you're talking double digit millions when you put them together. It's
Listen,
unbelievable.
you put your body in the line, you put your life in the line every time you get in the ring. You're going in with a guy who's a heavyweight champion, ruthless puncher. I don't think too many people were calling his name out. I seen your. Let's talk about that. You had your confrontation with Wilder.